Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. How's everybody doing? It is a beautiful Friday. Stop playing with us. I hope everybody got paid. If you didn't get paid, you're getting paid next week, so stop tripping. You're almost there. For those of y'all who got paid, though, we lit. We out here. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, people, I hope everything's going well. We're jumping back into some Darrell Brooks. Now, I was going through the officer footage, strictly the officers, because we didn't really cover too many officers that saw him. And we have another one that saw some shit. And this time, he's in the middle of the parade. Now, if you go to my Patreon, I'm really not plugging my Patreon, but it's just up there. But at the same time, I'm plugging my Patreon. You'll see in the video he swerves left and right, and like he runs over a group of people, then he swerves left again. This is the moment I think the officer is talking about. I saw a little snippet, and he kind of describes the way that Brooks was driving. I know I need a haircut. I'm getting it soon. Let's get into this video.
Be seated. Sir, the first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
Yeah, this is our boy right here. This is the one. I thought it wasn't that interesting, but then I was like, if we're extensively going through this case because everybody's calling for us to do it, I was like, we're doing everybody anyway. Might as well do him right now. And it turned out he was super interesting. Oh, is he? Well, she was here for the intro, people. She was here for the intro.
First name Craig, C-R-A-I-G. Last name Learman, L-I-E-R-M-A-N-N.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. I'd like to direct your attention to Sunday, November 21st of 2021. Did you attend the Waukesha Christmas parade that day?
Yes, I did.
Were you alone or with other people?
I was with my family.
Overruled.
Could you say that again?
I was with my family.
And I see you're wearing a uniform today. What do you do for a living?
I'm Assistant Chief with the Franklin Police Department.
Were you at the parade in your law enforcement capacity?
I was not.
Why were you there?
I was there to attend the parade just to get in the Christmas mood.
Okay.
To get into the Christmas mood. Holy shit. Well, I'll tell you what. That did not help you guys get into the Christmas mood. That helped traumatize everybody there. Basically traumatize the city of Waukesha. The city. He was able to traumatize the city of Waukesha. Crazy.
And did you have any family members participating in the parade?
I did not.
Where were you standing or observing the parade?
I was standing on West Main Street, very near the intersection of Maple, just to the west of Maple.
Do you know if you were on the north side or the south side of Main Street?
I was on the south side of Main Street.
Could we please put up for the jury exhibit number 15, which has previously been received and published?
Go ahead. Overruled.
And could we zoom in on the bottom left quadrant here? What does it depict? Area. Do you recognize the area on the map that you're looking at?
Yes.
What does it depict?
All right, we've seen this map about 4,000 times on this channel, so we already know what's going on. He's going to depict a place that he was at, and we're going to mentally know where he was. So I'm just going to drop an arrow so you guys could kind of know where the officer was in relation to the parade route. But everybody toward the front, I know is where everybody got really messed up at. Let's go ahead.
It's a map of the parade route, Christmas parade route.
Could you draw a little X for us, if you can find where you were standing with your family?
Objection.
Overruled.
Do you want me to go up and touch the map? Is that
Oh,
first,
the
or?
screen in front of you. I'm sorry. The screen in front of you is
Okay.
a touch screen. You can use your finger.
Sure. Okay.
Overruled.
I would be right, basically right there. Just
Right there at that X. So he was way at the front. So by then, everybody at the back was already ravaged, destroyed. Just like the other officer we talked about in the other video, he he finished the parade. He was walking his daughter home and then found out afterwards. So there's a lot of people. The key people I feel like are the ones after the parade because they're not clouded by all the destruction. They just see a strange man running around with a really fucked up car. So it's more like they're able to give more detail other than like, oh, I was walking at one moment and then I was smashed on the floor at the other. You know what I mean?
Just west of the intersection with Maple by maybe 20 to 50 feet.
Okay, southwest corner, Maple and Main.
Yes.
We can clear that then, please. Could we now please display for the jury Exhibit 56, which has also been previously received and published?
Go ahead.
This is an exhibit has already been received into evidence. It's obviously a diagram of the intersection we're talking about. Do you recognize this intersection?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
What?
Yes, I do.
And could you point out for us by, again, drawing a little X where you and your family were standing?
Yes. It would be approximately right here.
Okay. So again, southwest corner of Maple and Main.
Yes.
Do you recall what happened? We can take that down, please.
Oh, hey, they have a cardinal direction thing up here, and they're saying north is this way. So at least that helps. Maybe they have the direction on every little exhibit. Maybe that's how they're accurately given directions of like, yeah, I was on the southwest corner of Maple. Like, how do you know that? Do you have a compass? Like, I don't know.
Do you recall what happened at approximately 4:39 p.m. that Sunday afternoon?
Objection.
Overruled.
Yes.
Can you tell us?
Sure. Standing at that location, the parade was coming from my right to my left, so from the east to the west. There was a break in the parade in front of me. To my right was the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies. To my left was a group from the Catholic community of Waukesha, and there was a break in the parade right in front of me, an opening. I heard the crowd become more excited than normal. So I felt like something was coming, but I didn't know what. Didn't know if it was a unusual parade thing or what, but people became more excited, so it kind of grabbed my attention. Then I realized something wasn't quite right. I could see a vehicle traveling from the east to the west. At first I could only see the top portion of the vehicle from maybe the windshield up, because there was people obviously standing along the route, so they kind of obstructed my view. But I could see that the vehicle was traveling at a much faster rate than any of the other participants, so clearly something was wrong.
Yeah, something was really wrong. A jackass was driving behind the wheel. And imagine, like, how many people you see, right? And you have to be in the state of mind. And imagine this. He's not under any drugs or anything. So maybe some weed. Okay. You're in the state of mind to just keep on going. That's just pure evil, bro. Like, I would be talking shit about you, like, say you're on meth or you're on, like, something really hardcore, but then at the end of the day, I'd be like, yeah, but he was on drugs, like, you know, or he was out of his mind. At least you could just comprehend it that way. But he was just out here, just evil intent, like, sober. No alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. He probably didn't even have enough money to get a blunt that day. Because you guys know how his shit looks on the lives that I showed you. It wasn't looking good, bro. It was not looking good. So he probably didn't have enough money. He was probably stressing shit.
Drive the vehicle for us?
At first I could only tell that it was probably like an SUV because of, again, my vision was obstructed by the people that were standing watching the parade. As I got closer, I could see that it was a red Ford Escape SUV.
What happened as the SUV got closer to you?
As it got closer to me, I could hear that the engine was revving very high. The RPMs were much higher than normal, almost like it was maybe in the wrong gear or there was something mechanically wrong with it. It was revving, like I said, revving much higher than a typical car. It definitely grabbed your attention.
Okay. What happened
And you
next?
know, the RPM, it was probably not even in the wrong gear. It was probably because he was just flooring it, kind of redlining it, and it couldn't even keep up with how fast he was pushing the gas. That's probably what was happening.
As I got closer, I could hear something which I didn't know if it was like the engine sputtering or I didn't really know what it was. Again, kind of unusual. But then as I got closer, you could see that it was, again, traveling at a high rate of speed. I was concerned at that point in time that either there's some sort of mechanical issue with the car possibly, or maybe some parade participant was having a medical emergency, but the vehicle was clearly not under control in relation to everything else that was going on.
Interesting.
How close did the SUV get?
Don't give him that ammo. Don't give him that ammo. Because now he's giving him the idea. You know, this is probably where Brooks spawns his idea that, oh, in this year of that year, the manufacturer of Ford had some acceleration problems. He went that far. Now, again, if there was a real lawyer defending him, maybe they could argue something like that and get the car checked out or something. But obviously, it's Darrell Brooks, so he's just going to, shit the bed as usual. But you look at his face. When he said a mechanical issue, Brooks's eyes lit up. He's like, yes. Yes, we're doing this. My cross-examination is finna be epic. That's what he's saying right now. And his cross-examination is long, so we're going to do this in a two-parter. But anyway.
To you.
As it passed me, it came more towards my side of the street, so it would have been traveling essentially west in what would be the eastbound lanes normally. So when it passed by me, it was very close, probably maybe 10 feet away at most.
Were there parking spaces in front of you where you were standing?
Overruled. You may answer.
I believe there were, yes.
Do you recall if the vehicle passed through the parking spaces in front of you at all?
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
Yes.
Could you describe the lighting conditions at that time? What were the sunlight, street lights, things like that?
It was, if I remember correctly, it was getting to be towards dusk. I don't believe the street lights were on at that point in time, but it was getting darker, but it was still, like I said, I would describe it as maybe dusk, slightly before that.
How good of a look did you get at the driver?
A very good look.
Okay. Can you describe, or can you give us a physical description of what you remember?
Okay, if Brooks says he doesn't consent to be called that name, I hope this guy does not say the defendant or edit himself, because I hate when they do that shit. Because they're about to say, is that man in the room today? Blah, blah, blah. I don't object to be called that name. We're going to see how this officer handles it.
I remember the driver being a light-skinned male black, approximately 30 mid.
And this is the first one who said a light-skinned black man. Everybody said black or Latino, and I was like, how is he confused for Latino with all them dreads, bro? With all them dreads on his head. And it would be obviously black guy to me, but I don't know. I don't know how you mix that up for Latino. Like what?
Mid to late 30s. Had very facial hair and what I would describe as like dreadlocks. Longer hair.
What was the driver doing as he passed you?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer.
As he was driving by, the window was open. He stuck his head and actually like the upper portion of his body out the driver's window and looked back behind him.
The window you're talking about, which window is that?
It would be the driver's window.
And he actually stuck his head out the window.
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled. He may answer.
Correct, to the point where it crossed my mind he actually may fall out. That's how far out I perceived him to be.
What direction was the driver looking when he stuck his head out the window?
He was looking behind him.
From the direction that he had come from?
Correct.
What happened next?
at that point, when he looked back and then he kind of turned towards the front, based on his body language, my heart kind of sank because I felt like what I thought could be maybe a medical emergency or something like that. To me, it clearly, I felt like it was an intentional act.
Yep.
So that obviously upset me a little bit. And then the driver, after he had leaned back, he turned forward, he grabbed the steering wheel, he pulled himself up off the seat and cranked the steering wheel to the right.
So let the record reflect that the witness used both hands at the 10 and 2 position to simulate the driver's hands on the steering wheel.
Objection to that.
Overruled.
And this is where I was saying where it showed where he began to like swerve. Let's see. Listen to this shit, bro. Like, this is where I'm saying, shit, he needed more life sentences just for the fucking wrongdoing, because he was out here going crazy, bro. He should got a life sentence for every injury. Just to add them up and see how much we could get. Like,
The record will reflect.
What happened as the driver cranked the steering wheel to the right?
Unfortunately, when he did that, he essentially steered the vehicle across the parade route at a diagonal angle directly through a group of people that were walking with the Catholic community of Waukesha.
you see what I'm saying, bro?
Based on your...
So this really proves more intention. I keep saying all these witnesses are they're key witness, but this is really a key witness because nobody ever said that he leaned out of the car. This guy says he leaned out of the car, looked at his destruction, and said, fuck it, we need to do some more. Let's swerve into this other crowd. What was I don't know what his plan was, because it clearly couldn't have been to remain free after all of this. It couldn't be part of the plan.
memory of where those
He had to have known he was going to jail, right? You guys let me know in the comments, so like if that's how you feel. But he had to know, after today, I'm going to jail, right? Because if he really felt like he could do that and just go home, that's crazy. Crazy.
people were in the road and the SUV's path of travel. What would have happened if the SUV had simply maintained a straight path instead of veering to the right?
Objection speculative.
Overruled. He may answer.
I believe that there was a gap between where the Catholic community from Waukesha were standing and the parade spectators. So there should have been an open alleyway if he would have went straight.
What happened next?
Unfortunately, when he drove through that group, he struck many of them. A lot of them kind of bouncing off the hood, and some of them, unfortunately, actually ran over. I could see people come out from underneath the vehicle.
Oh my goodness, bro. Damn. And that's the scariest thing. I always say if I ever got hit by a car, I would hope that I get boinked into the air at least, or boinked over the hood or something like that, because I am not trying to go under that motherfucker. Hell nah. That's like the worst fear. That's like a shit. Hell to the no. Fling me in the air any day. I want to go up. I want to go down.
Did you see the vehicle at any point attempt to strike the word attempt? Did you at any point see the vehicle slow down?
Objection speculative.
Overruled.
No, not at all.
Did you see brake lights?
Nope, none.
Did you hear a horn honking?
Nope, not at all.
I'd like to put up for the witness only, please, exhibit number 133.
That depicts the red Ford Escape traveling through the closed parade route from the east of Maple through that intersection with Maple on Main Street to the west, very close to where I was standing.
Does that video accurately depict the events as you saw them unfold that day?
Yes, it does.
Move exhibit 133 into evidence and ask to publish.
Why was he playing so fast? Is that normal speed?
Mr. Brooks, it's not your time to ask questions. You'll have an opportunity to ask those previously, or when.
you let me know if you recognize the area depicted in the video and what happens as it plays. Let's keep going. Do you recognize that video?
Yes.
What does it show?
It shows the same red Ford Escape SUV that I've been talking about come in from the right-hand side of the screen across the left-hand side of the screen, striking at least one person there.
And do you see the vehicle changing position in the road towards the end of that video?
From my perspective, the vehicle travels straight through the video from right to left.
Okay. Is this an accurate representation of what you saw that day?
Yes.
Can you, using a little X again, can you draw on the screen the approximate area where you would have been standing at this time?
Sure. It would have been somewhere down in that area.
Okay.
Man,
So the
look how many
side-
people there are. Man. And imagine seeing that shit. Now, remember, things are already happening at this point. Look at this guy in the corner. Everybody's looking back this way. You know? And that's when he's saying he's swerving left to right across the parade route. So you can see how many people are actually there. And this is not even the parade. So behind them in the actual parade, you see all these people on the side. Those people in the middle probably can't even get out as easily because there's so many people around you. Where are you going to go to kind of like spread and get away from the car? So it's kind of like you're down the lane and you really can't get out of you could get out of the way, but you can't get out that fast. Look how many people are on the edges. You're kind of just boxed in with a crazy man and a red SUV. That's crazy.
Walk running kind of up the middle of the screen here. That'll run into Maple,
Yes.
and then you would be on the other side of Maple.
Yeah.
Overruled. His answer may stand. Just caution the state about leading questions. Thank you.
Do you know what side of the street this camera is on, north or south?
This
Overruled. He asked if he knew.
this camera would be on the south side of Main Street.
And what direction is the camera facing?
This camera will be facing to the west.
Okay. And can we back up a little bit, maybe to the 3-second mark?
Yes.
Okay, we're at the 3-second mark. Do you see the SUV that you've been talking about in the video right now?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
Yes.
Can you please circle it for us? Thank you. We can clear that. Now, paying attention to the tail lights, let's play again at 40% from that spot, 3 seconds. You see the tail lights of the SUV doing in the last few seconds of that video?
Objection, what's the relevancy?
Overruled. He may answer.
I didn't see the taillights on. As far as like brake lights, I didn't see any brake lights.
But the rear-facing lights were illuminated in some way, correct?
Objection, leading the witness.
Sustained.
Asked about
Please.
tail lights, not brake lights.
Please rephrase.
Sure. Did you see any lights on the back of the vehicle?
Yes.
Which ones?
Taillights.
And what did you see the tail lights doing in that portion of the video?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
The taillights were on.
But the position of the vehicle, did you see that change?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
I did not.
Okay. You testified earlier that you thought there might be some type of mechanical issue. Did you maintain that opinion?
No.
Why not?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled.
Based on the body language that the driver had exhibited as he passed me, there was no panic. There was no distress, like he was trying to stop the vehicle. In fact, he seemed to me like he was excited about what he was doing.
Damn.
Would you please put up for
Damn, he said it seemed like he was excited about what he was doing. Complete dickhead energy. Complete, like, you know what I mean? Evil intent, evil energy, bro. That's crazy.
recognize that video?
Do I recognize the vehicle in the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Objection. That wasn't the question, Your Honor.
Overruled. He may answer.
The answer was yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is based on your recollection of the scene that day. This would be where in relation to where you were standing?
That would be west of my location.
What happens to Main Street as you go west of where you were standing?
Objection. Being the witness.
Overruled.
Approximately a block to the west, the road takes a sharp turn to the left or south.
You testified earlier that the driver's window was down when it passed you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Does this video accurately depict how the SUV looked, including that window, at the time you saw it?
Objection. Speculative. No window was open.
Overruled. He may answer. He's testifying about what he recalled, not what someone else thought. Go ahead.
Yes.
I move Exhibit 134 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Now look at this crazy motherfucker. Look at his trunk, first of all. Trunk destroyed. He used it as a damn battering ram. And just like the officer said, I didn't even know they had this much evidence on him. Just like the officer said, look, red SUV, window clearly rolled down for some reason because the SUV looks tinted. So if he wanted to be more incognito, he could have rolled the SUV window up. But anyways, rolls it down and sticks his body out the window like he's Tupac or something. Like, what are you doing, bro? Insane. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think he knew he had to have gone into this knowing that he was not getting out. Like, he was going to go to jail. There's no way you're getting away from this. You have the window down now, and you're swerving all over the road over a girl, bro? Psh.
What did you do after the SUV drove out of your field of view?
Checked on my family. They were physically unharmed. So then I went into the road to see how.
They were physically unharmed. I like how he said that because they were mentally harmed. I'm telling you, he should have got life sentences just for the mental anguish of everybody around him, man. He's in there forever, but like shit, he did so much in such a small amount of time, and literally, like, traumatized the city.
Help people.
Did you?
Yes.
Who?
Stepped out into the road. I looked to my left, to my right, in each direction. I would estimate probably 12 to 15 people in each direction that were lying in the road in various positions. I just walked up to the first people that I saw to my west, which would have been people that were with the Catholic community of Waukesha.
And did you attempt to render any medical aid to anybody in that group?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
So I happened upon two people. One was an adult male, and then one was a small child, probably 8 to 11. The adult male was conscious, was lying on his side. I believe it was the right side of his head on the ground. He complained that he couldn't move his legs. And then the young girl was unconscious. She was laying on her stomach, face down, with her head tucked essentially down underneath her, like onto her chest, essentially.
Damn.
The adult male that you described, did he provide you with a first name?
Yes, he did.
What was that?
Jason.
The girl that you mentioned, did you ever learn her name?
I have an idea who it is now. I did not learn it that day, though.
Okay. What happened as you came upon that girl with her head tucked down into her chest?
I believe there was at least one other Good Samaritan that had come down to assist her. She was not, like I said, she was not conscious. She was breathing, but the breaths were more like snoring. I recognized that she was not getting good quality breaths. Could be characterized as agonal breathing, possibly, but she was not breathing normally.
Damn.
What did you do?
I told the other Good Samaritan that we needed to get her in a better position so she could get adequate breaths, because where she was not. At first, the person
She
Was a
was
little
literally like choking in her sleep because like with her head down, you know how that is. It kind of constricts breathing. They needed to like, in CPR they're like lift the chin, you know what I mean? So all that air could get in. They need to just lay her on their back, lift the chin, if they even can. But damn, bro.
little reluctant because they didn't want to hurt her more by
Exactly.
moving her. But I convinced them that she's not breathing appropriately right now. We have to move her carefully so that she can have an opportunity to breathe.
So did you?
Yes.
Did you help anybody else with the group that you've identified as the Catholic communities?
Objection answered.
Overruled.
Eventually, there was several people that came and helped the young girl with various levels of medical training. I think one was like a retired military medic, and there was at least one nurse. So they were helping her to the point where I really could not provide any additional aid. So I kind of walked around to see if there's anybody else I could help.
Was there?
Yes, there was many people at that point.
Yeah, you could do that all day, buddy. I was just gonna say like yes, I could have walked around all day if I needed to.
Did you help anybody else?
Yes.
Who?
I actually ran into an officer who was also off duty from Franklin that I recognized. I didn't attend the event with him, but I ran into him. We worked together then to help at least one other person into the back of a sheriff's squad that had come onto the parade route to try to help get people to area hospitals.
What type of vehicle was that?
It was a
There's been an objection. It's not speculative. The witness may answer. Go ahead.
I didn't even hear his objection. He's so much of a weasel and a rat. You can't even, he's just like a fly in the corner. You know what I mean? Like I literally didn't even hear his objection. But keep in mind, the next video is going to be a part 2 to this. His cross-examination is going to be crazy. I saw a little snippet of it and I was like, okay, we need to have a whole video. I'm going to like do a 2-parter here.
Okay. It was a marked Waukesha County Sheriff's SUV.
What happened next?
By that time, there was a lot of medical equipment that was arriving on scene. I know there was a longboard that we tried putting some of the victims on, but the longboard wouldn't fit in the back of the SUV because it's a hard seat. It just wouldn't fit in there. So we ended up using like a makeshift stretcher out of a blanket, and then we carried one of the victims into the back of the sheriff SUV. And then the officer who was with me from Franklin, he actually rode with her in the back, or the female victim, and went to an area hospital.
Do you recall the first name of that female victim?
I believe it was Marisol.
Marisol.
Objection, legal witness.
It's a clarification.
Legal witness.
Overruled.
Yes.
Did you eventually leave the downtown Waukesha area?
Yeah, approximately 5:30 after all the victims that had been lying in the road were taken care of. There was nothing left for me to do at that point.
Damn. That's where we're going to stop. But yeah, that shit. You know, he's a police officer, so I'm sure he's seen a lot of things. But for everybody else, I'm sure it was pretty... It was traumatizing for everybody, but I'm sure it was super traumatizing for just like your regular everyday folk, right? But anyways, people, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to come back with the part 2 with the Darrell Brooks cross. My camera just died, so you're not going to see me say goodbye. But anyways, people, I love y'all. Stay inside, stay safe. I'm going to see you on my Monday, Tuesday stream, and catch you in the next one.